My name is Eric Medina. I am head coach for Canoga Park High School Wrestling. We're here in our wrestling room in Canoga Park. I think I've been coach here now for about 5 years. I also run the youth program, Topanga Wrestling. And yeah, dude, just very fortunate to have actually grown up and went to this high school and pretty much be a son of Canoga Park. Like, I grew up in the area. I went to Fulbright Elementary, Columbus Middle School, and Canoga Park High School. My father went to this high school and played football and wrestling, and he was coached under a legendary coach named Rudy Lugo, who is a very big pillar in this community. And so Rudy instilled a lot of virtues and, wonderful things about being a champion that my dad passed on to me when it was my turn. I didn't grow up wrestling when I was a little kid. I actually was a little brat. My parents couldn't deal with me. So when I got to high school, I kind of was in a transitionary period of like, am I going to continue to hang out with knuckleheads or am I going to straighten up? And the one thing that really led me down the right path was wrestling. First of all, I started to love wrestling. And then I was like, this is awesome. Like, where's this been all my life? Yeah. And then like to find out my dad's actually a legit champ, because you don't know these things when you're young, right? And you're like, oh yeah, whatever, dad. Like, and that's something I deal with now. But to find out your dad's actually pretty good and he could teach, you're like, dude, how come you? And then how come you never taught me? Like, this is ridiculous. So for 4 years he trained me, and I was very lucky enough to be a city champion my senior year for this high school. And as fate would have it, I am now head coach here. I wrestled in high school, I wrestled in college, I wrestled in Moore Park College, and when I went to four-year university, CSUN, they did not have wrestling, and that's when I got into jiu-jitsu. And then from there, I made the switch full-time and been lucky enough to earn my black belt under John Jack Machado, who is another legendary figure. And my college coach is Paul Kiesel, which is an NCAA Division I champion. Another legend, yeah. So even me, dude, like, I've been bounced around from legend to legend, and so I'm very lucky that I could take some of that knowledge and pass it to my kids today. I'm lucky enough to be a United States Marine. I was a staff sergeant. I joined during a period of we had conflict in Iraq, and I deployed there in 2009. I loved my time in the military. That was like, I spent 10 years in it. I reached a point where it was going to be life in the military or life in the civilian side. And I was able to do a lot of things, go to a lot of schools, millions of dollars worth of government money training me up, right? I was part of a unit that would control airstrikes. I'm a parachutist, like, do a lot of like cool high-speed stuff, I love the military. It was definitely for me. It's something that I don't look back and have regret. I look back on fondly. What do I want people to know about Canoga Park? Hey, dude, we're a solid community. There's a lot of good people here. When I was growing up, Canoga Park maybe didn't have the best reputation, but knowing that about like who does have the best reputation. Wherever you go, some place talks smack about another place. When I was growing up, it was West Hills, El Camino, but people on Calabasas look down on them. Like, it continues. To have pride in yourself and your community, you don't care what others say. Like, it's all in your representation, how you see stuff. This is my hometown. I'm a hometown kid, dude. I love this place very much. I know all the secrets. I think I was talking to Adrian one day, and he was telling me how, like, the little secrets of the school, and I was like, oh yeah, like this place. How do you know that? It's like, my dude, this is our starting level. This is where we come from. At a certain level, you do master it. Yeah. You could go out and do other stuff, but like, this is always home base. It has a certain energy, and like, I'm very proud to be from Canoga Park.
My name is Bill Ratner.
My name is Edward Barquette.
This is our museum that Ed and I, as president and vice president, work in.
I have pride of living in Canoga Park because it's a beautiful community here in the West Valley. As I always say, the West is the best, and get here, we'll do the rest. I'm a historian. I have a degree in history from Cal State Northridge, and I find it truly interesting and amazing the rich cultural heritage that is here in Owensmouth, Canoga Park over the decades. and the variety of people that lived here, and the very well-known, even famous people lived here. And I take pride in the local schools, Canoga Park High School, and the middle schools, the elementary schools. Lots of fine graduates, and a thriving, vibrant community here in Canoga Park. So I enjoy living in Canoga Park.
And what inspired you to create this resource for the community? Where did it all stem from?
Well, this grew up from the Women's Club. They had a very small museum and it got to be too big. And so this building at one time was a fire station. That's why this building is in the shape that it's in, and the room is in the shape that it's in. And that was changed in 1978. It was first started, the building was built in 1931, staffed as a fire department in 33. The engines got too big for this space, and so they had to literally put another fire station together. So 72 moved over to DeSoto and Van Owen. The problem then is in 1983, a group got together to spend a little over $100,000 and renovated this to a museum slash community center. Now, what you see behind you is a map. And all these little pieces here are people's homes. This is how Canoga Park grew up, in a sense. It was farmland. It was dependent on water. So we're tied to the Mulholland legacy of bringing water to LA. We have a legacy of building homes here. We've had everything in here, including a movie theater, a drive-in movie theater that is now paved over in a bunch of buildings. But it's an ever-changing arena.
What's the importance of having a museum for Canoga Park?
To keep the knowledge and the heritage of the community alive for the next generation, because Owensmouth / Canoga Park was established in 1912, as was the community of Van Nuys, but Van Nuys does not have a historical society. Canoga Park is the only community in the valley that has its own historical society. Oh, my mistake. Chatrick.
Burbank.
And Burbank, yes. But 3 communities out of like many communities here in the valley. So it's to keep the history alive, to show the new generation what their history is of this community.
Hi, my name is Emely Martinez. I'm 23 and this is CP Stories. What I want people to know about Canoga Park is that it's the heart of the valley. I would say that there's more to Canoga Park than what it is. What I mean by the heart of the valley is like, you're gonna find, I mean, just in general, LA is so generalized with different types of people, individuals, and Canoga Park also represents that. It's not just like, for example, Calabasas, and we know what Calabasas really represents for the most part. It's like the wealthier, right? Yep. But Canoga Park is just a mix, and it's, like I said, the heart and it's home, so it's a combination of everybody. So that's what makes it so beautiful and special.
Yeah. How big of a family do you have?
There's a lot of us. There's 7 of us in total. 4 girls and 1 boy, which is my brother, and my mom, and my dad. So, like you said, we're all martial artists, and there's a lot of women in my family. And how we started was actually my dad is a Taekwondo black belt, and he used to compete in Mexico, was on the Mexico national team. He was really, really high level. So then my uncle also, my mom's brother, did Taekwondo as well. He was pretty good too. And we all kind of, I think he was the first the first one to take the class, and then we all started to take, me and my brother, and then the rest of my sisters. The good thing about that was we learned a lot of values from being martial artists, especially me as a female martial artist. I got to learn a lot, and it helped me become more of a secure person, more confident. And what I love is, what I also love is that my sisters were able to fall in love with the sport, also become national level athletes, become very, very skilled in the sport. And I got to see them also develop those skills or those character traits, as women, as individuals, the way that they carry themselves, and they have more confidence because they know what they're capable of as far as martial artists themselves, and they have more confidence because they know what they're capable of as far as martial artists. Having both my parents be supportive in that, and being able just to be a female martial artist is like, what's the word? Can't compare it to anything. It teaches you so much. It doesn't necessarily have to be a parent, but having someone like you, when you support the kids, having a coach, having someone there like that does a lot for you. Like in any area of life, you know what I mean? So, but for sure, having my parents and both parents there, like really made me the athlete I was, because I was able to go to Mexico Nationals, be a medal in the U.S. Nationals, U.S. Open, like get opportunities that not a lot of individuals have because lack of support from parents or other resources and things like that. So having my parents' support was very nice.
And you are the second oldest.
I am the second oldest, so
Right.
an oldest female and a Latina. So it's it was very tough. It was tough because I have my younger sisters that look up to me, and I have to set the example all the time. And in Hispanic households, it's tough. A lot of the values that my mom tried to instill in me as a Latina woman, the oldest, was, things that were awesome and amazing, and I got to develop my character, but certain things like, you have to clean the house because you're a woman. You have to do this because but now we have so much more opportunity as women too to do different things. So it is tough being the oldest female in Hispanic household for sure.
And I know that you deal with a lot of struggles, right? Like all of us do, right? We all struggle in different ways. And for me, you are very inspirational because you handle it with grace and strength, right? So if you could have a message for anyone out there who are dealing with struggles, whether it's emotionally, whether it's psychologically, whether it's physically, what words of advice?
What I would say is to surround yourself with people like you guys.
Thank you.
Surround yourself with people that have good hearts, that have positive energy, that want to make a change, that when you see them, it's like you're having a rough day. Like, for instance, like I come here sometimes like out of appointments, and I've called you guys, like, hey, I'm running a few minutes late. You guys are very understanding. But when I get here, it feels like, and honestly, like it feels like none of that matters. I see, your guys' faces, the energy, the kids, and the environment, and it's amazing. So I would definitely say surround yourself with people that are going to help you grow, people that are going to push you, people that treat you with respect, and people that are just real, because it's a difficult thing to find these days, and you guys are just one of a kind.
So I'd like to start out. The Canoga Park Women's Club was founded in 1914, and we've been helping our community since then. We were instrumental in setting up the first library in Canoga Park, and I'm most proud of the fact that we established Haven Hills in 1977. That's one of the first domestic violence shelters in Southern California, and it's the first one in the San Fernando Valley. While at the same time, we were educating the community about domestic violence. We had ladies going to different organizations in the neighborhood, the Kiwanis, the Rotary, the Lions, and women's group as well. And even the women's group did not believe that domestic violence was going on in our neighborhoods. But we knew the statistics, and we knew there were people in the audiences that were suffering. We pride ourselves on significant community involvement. Every year we have a luncheon for our veterans in November. We give a scholarship to a Canoga Park senior, and we have started and are still working with the Friends of the Library, the Friends of the Canoga Park Library.
It's located at 7401 Valerio. Or
Jordan Avenue.
Jordan on the corner of Jordan and Valerio. And it was built in 1929.
The building.
The building itself. And it is amazing to me that after 108 years, that we are still a community service organization. I mean, that blows my mind.
Yes.
To me, the importance and the reason I even joined in 2013 was helping the community and bringing businesses, people all together for things. Get the community really involved with each other and helping each other.
The town of Canoga Park means to me is home. This is my home. I have been here since November 1985. I have embraced it. I love it. I patronize the stores, businesses, the art walk, the art in the community. When we had the third Thursdays in the summer, it was very hot, but it was wonderful to be able to walk in the neighborhood, have so many activities going on available for us. It's a wonderful community.
And safety is a big issue now. However, where I live, luckily, I take my dog out for a walk at night at 10 o'clock on my block. Everybody says I shouldn't, but I feel comfortable. And I think it's just a wonderful place to live. Since, like I said, since '77, I've enjoyed every minute that I've been here. The Women's Club, the support, the philanthropies, I couldn't ask for any more.
Canoga Park, I feel pretty safe. I'm right out on Valley Circle, and the only problem is the cars going by like it's a speed trap there, you know. Yeah, I wish that the police would sit on my corner, but aside from that, I feel very safe, and we're close to everything. And I'm like 3 miles off the freeway, which is a nothing drive, you know, so I can get all over. And also, joining the club here, I've been more aware of, I'll say, things that Canoga Park has to offer. And I just want to say one thing. We are very, very lucky in our club to have such a beautiful building. And the first meeting, official meeting, because I joined during the pandemic and the building wasn't open, but when I went to the first monthly meeting, it's so beautiful in there. I thought that I was at a wedding venue. The club does everything so beautifully. We have a caterer who prepares wonderful food for us. We have beautiful tableware. I mean, it looked like a venue that I was going to an affair. And I think that anybody new that's brought into our club would be so impressed with the way that we do it. And it's up to these women who have been in the club for such a long time to do such a wonderful, wonderful job. I really, truly mean that. And so it's really made me very happy. It's brought a lot of new things into my life.
My name is Joe Tovar, and I'm a San Fernando Valley original. I've been here all my life, born and raised. I grew up in a primarily Latino community, and I'm an artist, and I've always absorbed and been like a sponge with art. I grew up with, you know, a million roses in my neighborhood, you know, and you know, just a Latino community of rosas everywhere, and I mean different colors and what they mean and what they you know, because they mean something to us, these colors, you know. My grandma had a favorite color was a peach rose, and I would bring my mom lilies, I remember, and I would steal them from the neighborhood, but nobody cared because there was so many, you know. And I saw lowriders in my block. I had 2 car clubs on my block. I was a little kid running around on my little bicycle, and I would stop and, you know, earn some ice cream money and start, you know, armoring tires or helping to wax out, you know, a paint job and I loved it. I just loved the chrome and the paint and you know, the culture. My community was art, you know. Like I said, from the flowers to the cars to the, you know, just the creativity of the people, you know, all the different things the neighbors would do, you know, the altars.
Painted signs.
My grandmother had a huge altar, you know, and you had the Virgin Mary and it had all the candles, and I saw all that as art, you know, and I would draw and doodle, and I would doodle what I saw.
What brought you over to Canoga Park?
Well, really family. I got married at 17, my wife was 15. I was a dope addict, and I was on the streets and just in a big mess and roaming. One thing, you know, Pacoima is a great neighborhood and there's good people, and it gets a bad rap by, you know, a very small amount of people make bad choices. I made a lot of bad choices, and my mom saw Pacoima as an area at that time that I needed to get away from. And so I slowly started moving west. That's what really brought me out here to the West Valley. I just wanted a change of environment. And unfortunately, you know, and this is something that's really dear to my heart, you know, a lot of the people that I grew up with, a lot of the crowd, you know, the kids that I enjoyed so much time with in my youth, you know, are no longer here, or have seen just very challenging lives as a result of our choices that we made as young kids. You know, not really knowing where it was heading, where it would head us to, but definitely not something that was going to be easy. But this is home. Yeah. This is home for me, regardless of, you know, my roots. I really enjoy embracing this side of the valley.
What did you know about Canoga Park?
Well, I saw a great need. Coming from the east side, there's a great need as well, but there are a lot of resources out there. And there are a lot of organizations and agencies, and I didn't see many out here. I grew up in a family that was always involved in the community. So I always knew that need as a kid, you know. I saw that, and as an adult living here in Canoga Park, I saw that there was a great need for just for help within our community. Those that are out there, grassroots, you know, born and raised, and sometimes, yes, gang affiliated, lowrider community, just that population, I saw a great need for them, and so it just inspired me to stay here and, you know, to set up camp.